Welcome, everybody. My name is Ryan, and we are back with more Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead. This is our tutorial series, and I believe we're on episode 5 already. Man, it's going right along, but we are just outside of our evac shelter. We've had a couple of encounters with NPCs. Thankfully, not too much in the way of hostiles, but I'm sure there's still a lot of that ahead of us. So, if you did miss any of the previous episodes, please check the description. I've got a bunch of helpful links, including the playlist for this tutorial series is down there as well. So check it out. Also, the links for the game, too. I should mention that if you want to play along with me, it is free to play, easy to download and install, and there's a lot of different mods for it. Of course, we're completely vanilla, playing on the stable branch currently, which is 0.H, also known as Herbert. So we're just outside of a cemetery, which we're going to approach with much caution. I don't know if there's any undead there yet, but we are looking at this car. Turns out it is drivable. It's got a good engine. The problem is the vehicle tank is draining. So despite the fact that it's got a little gas, it wouldn't last for long. The battery charge isn't great, but these cars are like regular cars in real life, meaning that as long as it has an alternator installed in the same square as the engine. Where's the engine? Is it in the back? Let's see, it's probably in the very front. Yeah, this car has a functional alternator in the same square as the engine, meaning the battery will charge as it drives. So as long as it starts with a very small charge, well, that's good. But the tank and the gas is the issue for this vehicle. But otherwise, this could be a really great starter car for us. You know, it's probably not going to be the last car we ever use. Hopefully not, because we'll want to upgrade and further tweak it with armor, and you can even do turrets, all kinds of great stuff with the cars. One of my favorite aspects of this game is the mechanics and building cars. You can even make it float on water and drive on land at the same time. Aquatic vehicles are totally viable, but let's not get swamped with that kind of thing yet. We've got more exploring to do. We also learned about tool qualities in the last one, so in order to do any serious work, such as remove that faulty tank, we need to get some tools. So that's one of the things on our list of to-dos, but the top of that list is always to survive. So I am approaching this graveyard with much caution, checking the map. There's another car right here. This is some sort of truck. Tells us down in the bottom, it's a hearse. Okay, surprising. Now, see, the tank on this is in perfect shape with a little bit of gas in it. So we could remove the tank from this and then install it into that other one. Granted, we had the right tools, which we don't. So nonetheless, let's move. We'll come back. We'll come back. Okay, I'm going to step over those bushes. There's some sort of building right here. We got doors. I don't know what's going to be inside. Thankfully, yeah, it appears that all the graves out back here are still intact. Nothing has risen that I can see. I don't know about digging them up, though. I'm sure it's possible. I don't know if it's advisable, though. All right, let's see. It's not locked. We're going to utilize what we know as the peek command. This is a new command we haven't seen yet in the series, but it's helpful for looking around corners. You can even use it to look down, like downstairs or upstairs, so you'll kind of know what's ahead of you. It's not going to give you perfect visibility, but let's try turning on our flashlight because it's obviously dark in there. So that illuminates things a little bit. Now, if I hold Shift and X, it's going to ask me, where do you want to peek? So I'm going to give it the command like in front. Actually, I think we need to be kind of standing in the door. So let's Shift plus X. Now I'm going to indicate this square right here with the down diagonal arrow. Now, it appears as though my character has just stepped into the building, but that's not the case. Remember, we're still peeking right now, and you can kind of tell that because it's brought this cursor up. So I'm still physically in the door frame, but it's representing me peeking around the corner by moving my character. So that little dark spot is now visible. This isn't because it's behind a closed door, but if I hit escape, you can see we're physically in the door frame. Let's step in. We could peek around this corner. Again, escape. You can see my actual location. Let's open this door. Okay. I was a little worried that there was going to be some zombies in here, but let's see what we've got. Children's book. Matchbook, umbrella. Anything else interesting? Stone slab. No, that's about it. There is an NPC that can spawn in this type of a building, but she's not here, so nothing we can do. All right. Did we remember that vehicle? No, we didn't. Let's come back over to this one. I'm going to examine with E, and I'm going to remember its position so that it'll show up on the larger map there. All right, but yeah, we spotted this mine shaft in the last one. When I say mine shaft, you'll see there's an entire building constructed around the shaft itself, and that's what we're most concerned with. We might actually go underground, but it'll just be briefly. What I care about is the facilities above ground, because there's fuel there. Sometimes a vehicle can spawn, and there's going to be a lot of zombies there too. But mine shafts are really great because we can utilize a spear. Why are spears good? Because they have reach attack. Why is reach attack good? Well, you're going to find out. Okay, yeah. So we've just encountered the zombie miner. There it is. Very important to note that right behind it is a chain link fence. Okay, so that's going to become very important here in a moment for our tactics. What I'm going to do is ignore the zombie and I'm going to back up. We're not quite prepared. This weapon that we're holding, this large wooden club, it served us pretty well up until now, but it's not the weapon we want. We want a spear. This does not have a reach attack. It would tell me if it did, but it doesn't say it. Also, I need to turn my flashlight off. And we're also going to turn off our smartphone. Currently, it's playing music to help boost our mood a little bit. Yeah, but we're going to turn that off because it does negatively affect our combat. When we're listening to music, we don't want that on. It can slow us down, affect our dodging and stuff. So I'm going to drop this weapon just right in the middle of the road there. In fact, I'll probably just abandon it. We'll switch over to spears for the most part for this run. I like a spear for the reach. It's a great early game, and it's a great beginner weapon. Now, what we're looking for, if I just go to my crafting menu and go to weapons, there's nothing selected, no highlighted here because we don't have the ingredients. But a very simple spear recipe is to find a small tree. There's one right in front of me. You'll have to just get used to whatever the small trees look like on your tile set. But one way you can always tell is you can walk on the small tree. It's going to slow you down. It's going to cost you movement. But for instance, a large tree like this one, I can't walk into that. I'm trying to, but it won't let me. So the small trees, what I want to do is smash it. Knock it down. So let's shoulder check it. It actually would have been more effective for me to keep my weapon. So I'm going to select wield, grab the weapon. Yeah, because this has a bashing quality far greater than just me shoulder checking it. So boom. Yeah, one hit. It was nice. All right. Oop. I dropped my flashlight by accident. Let me grab that. I'm going to drop the large wooden club. Now, hopefully, yes, this tree gave us a long stick. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. It's also got some twigs and stuff here. We're concerned with this, but what I am going to do is haul this stuff right there on top of our old weapon, and we are going to ritualistically burn it. Start a little fire. We're a pyromaniac, so we need to do that for our mood. But, like I said, it's just a little ritual. Burn the old weapon, out with the old, in with the new. So anyway, we've got this long stick. It's not really a functional weapon. If we look at it, it's got some bash, not any penalty or positive, but this is not what we're going to use. We're going to craft it into... There it is. So now we drop down the spears menu and you can see there's some white things available here. So we got a couple options. We want to be mainly looking at the melee qualities. Oh, and by the way, like I said, this item is used to make reach attacks. That's why we want the spear over like a club or something. And I think... normally the wooden spear would be what I made, but because we do have a fire next to us, we have the option to make the fire-hardened spear, which is just as good and actually takes less time to complete. If we look at that, this is 1 hour and 30. That one takes 4 hours. That's like half the, well, not half the day, but half the daylight. So yeah, we're making fire-hardened. Zombie miner is spotted. I'm going to ignore it because I'm pretty sure he's just on the very outskirts of our vision. Yeah. So it wasn't actually coming towards me, but I only knew that from experience. In that situation, you probably shouldn't ignore zombies or pop-ups like that. But all right, we were not able to finish it. See here in the top, it says in progress, 39% because the fire went out. So first of all, let's back away from the mine a bit more so I don't have to worry so much about miners walking into me. And let's go ahead and find another small tree. There's one. This time, oh, there's a body here too. Let's inspect that. It's got a little matchbox. We'll move him over here too. Maybe he'll help. We can burn his body and potentially extend the life of our fire at the same time. So win-win for everybody. Now, okay, without my club, my stamina just dropped really quick while I was trying to knock down that tree. Maybe I should have waited to burn the club, but that's not a big deal. All right, did we get more long sticks? No. But the point is just the fire here, not to get another long stick. I was hoping we'd get more sticks because those would make the fire last longer, but we should be able to burn it. There we go. And now I'm going to use the activate command to start that crafting progress again from where we left off, instead of trying to redo the whole thing. So I hit A, and I have to locate it. It's in our hand. Oh no, it's damaged too. I used it to smash that tree. And I didn't even finish it. See, the fire went out again. All right, we're just going to light this tree on fire. That's a big one, but I really want to get this done. It's all right. Yeah, the spear came out undamaged, so that's not bad. I'm going to favorite it. There we go. And it's in our hand. Beautiful. Looks exactly like it should. Fine, fine, fine. There we go. Oh, my smartphone is still on. Turn off the music. All right. We are ready to approach. So this is going to be one of those rare instances where I turn off my safe mode, but it's only because we're approaching a known quantity. I know that there are zombie miners down here, and I don't want to constantly be hitting the ignore enemy every time a new one pops into my view. See, it's going to pause the game constantly, so safe mode is off. Be careful when you do this kind of thing. I have a lot of experience, so I'm going to be moving somewhat quickly, but you need to move slowly. Okay, so we've got a bit of an issue. We've got a zombie out in the middle of the road. Ideally, now that we've got a spear with reach attack, what we're going to be doing is killing these zombies from behind the fence with the safety of a metal chain link fence between us and the zombies. But this boy isn't playing by our rules. He's out in the middle of the open, so we're going to take him on the old-fashioned way. Let me check my encumbrance. All right, it's not bad. So what we're going to do is we're going to utilize the terrain to slow him down. I talked about this a little bit in the previous one. If we examine just regular terrain, the movement cost is only 100. That's like a flat cost. That's normal. That's walking over flat land. We look at something like a bush, that's 300. Some deep grass, 150. A tree is impossible. But yeah, so we're going to utilize things like bushes and tall grass to try and kite the zombie through, which will cost it more movement than us, giving us free moves to attack it, essentially is what's happening. So I had to go close to it. For one thing, zombie miners have very poor vision for whatever reason. I think they're used to like underground or something, but I know that he is aggroed on me, or I have his attention, and he is now coming to get me because of this little exclamation mark in red here. That tells me that he is on me. He is coming for me. And if I were to just stand here, he'll get me. He's coming. All right, but we don't want to let him do that. Like I said, we're going to strategically move him there. So I've positioned myself behind this little tuft of grass. I'm going to let him walk into it. Boom. Now, normally if you had like a knife or any weapon without reach, you would have to attack from directly next to it for melee. But because we have reach, I can actually attack him from a distance, only of one square. So I couldn't like stand like over here or up here and attack him with the spear. If I had a gun, definitely. But the spear only has one square of reach. So I'm going to hit tab, and that auto attacks him. A couple of things happened. For one, you might have noticed there was a little tooltip pop up there, kind of showing his health bars. That's helpful as you get used to watching for that. But over here, you can see that the practical skill and piercing weapons just increased on our very first strike. Nice. And we pierced the zombie miner for 18 damage. Let's go to the character screen. You can see there's piercing weapons. So again, I kind of touched on this in character generation, but that's how the weapons work in Cataclysm. You won't see a category for spears. What you'll see is a spear has piercing qualities on it. It also has a small amount of bash too. So essentially every time we use this, we're increasing our pierce and by a small amount our bash too. And as we level up each individual skill, that will transfer. So if I pick up one spear with a pierce and then I find a better spear or maybe a different weapon that still has piercing, that skill will carry over. So that's just how weapons work. Now again, he's still entangled in the bush. I'm going to attack him again. He was able to get out of the bush. Let's kite him through. All right. Oh, okay. So now we've got a new symbol on the screen. The do not go means he's grabbed me. And it will say that. The zombie miner grabs your left leg. You try to break free on your left leg, but fail. Okay. Whew. All right. I couldn't break him free, but I was attacking him too. And I managed to kill him. And we got an achievement for it. So we killed our first zombie. And now I can freely move. Let's check ourselves. Okay, I'm still injured. I don't think it was from him, though. He didn't get much of a hit on me. Let's look at our full zombie miner bites your left leg. But he didn't. Yeah, I think he just damaged the bandages. Yeah, he did no damage to me. And that's good because zombie bites can cause infection. It's not always guaranteed. Every time you get into a fight with a zombie and he hits you a couple times, you're not necessarily going to be infected. But you will know because the infected limb will turn a different color. And we'll deal with that if we come to it. Right now, we got lucky. Didn't happen. But it's fairly rare, too. Again, it's not always going to happen, but I say it's fairly rare and it might happen to you on your first zombie attack, but it's just random essentially. So now a couple things here. We can loot this guy. Very good. So if I hit G next to him, we can see that he's got an inventory. We can pick up stuff. I'm going to grab his smartphone. It's just nice to have extras. I like that. Here's his corpse. He's got a flyer on him. I don't care about that, but he's also got his clothes on and it's filthy. Zombies will have filthy clothes on there. If we were to wear something like this, let's say I had a really nice backpack on or this mining helmet, if I were to put this on, it would affect our mood negatively. The more filthy clothes you wear, the larger the mood penalty becomes. So you really want to get some soap and some washing materials like a washing kit or a washboard and clean this stuff up before you do it. It's mostly damaged, and I can tell that by these symbols on the left. The colors you really want to kind of look at. Yellow and red is not good. Green is what we want, and like the smartphone screen. So yeah, that's a bunch of junk. I'm not going to pick anything else up. But one last thing we need to do with this body. Zombies will rise again. In fact, all creatures can rise again as zombies, even if they're already zombified. That's what this indicator means. This guy will rise again if given enough time. So we need to smash him. That's right. Just as we smash the door or those trees, we're now going to use the S command in his direction to smash him. You can see the blood splattered a little bit and that icon is gone. This man will now rest in peace forever. All right, but he is only the first of many. Yeah, the mines themselves will be loaded with zombies, but like I said, using the reach attacks and this fence here, for the most part, it's going to be a walk in the park. As a new player, definitely be careful. But we've got another zombie here. He's just on the outside of the fence, so maybe we can we'll use his lack of vision to our advantage. So, because he still doesn't see me at this point. He has no idea I'm over here. Now you can see there's two zombies on the inside. There's actually far more than two of them, but this guy just here has seen me. Let's let him walk over. I'm passing time using the 5 button. If I just sit here, nothing's going to happen, obviously. So in order for him to get closer, I'm just hitting 5. All right, so now he is on the other side of the fence. He's a little bit far, so I'm going to step closer to him. But we can reach him. You can use your auto attack button, which is tab. Oh, wow, we killed him in one hit. wasn't expecting one hit, but yeah, he dropped in one hit. He's obscured by the bush, but I think he's still here. Yeah, let me climb that fence real quick. Using the E button, I'm going to climb the obstacle to my left and hit yes. Yeah, there he is. He was obscured by that bush. Standing on top of the fence, I'm going to smash him, and we'll loot it. 3 glow sticks. I will pick those up and favorite them. And that's it. Actually, I'll take the smartphone. I'm not going to grab the cigarette. All right, so there are 2 other zombies, both on the other side. Let's do something which I don't recommend. I'm going to yell. Obviously, zombies are attracted by noise, so we're using Shift plus C. I'm going to yell. And there's something in this building here that was upset by me yelling. Zombies are not smart, and that other one that was over here, he kind of wandered this way, so he didn't do what I wanted him to. So what we're going to do is we're going to climb this fence. This is risky. Okay, so we're in a bit of a sticky situation. I'm trying to kill this guy utilizing the fence, but now I'm on the inside, and this guy has seen me and is coming towards me. Let's look at the damage on this dude real quick. All right, he's not quite dead yet. This one's undamaged, and I can tell that because of these lines right here. So he's totally undamaged, whereas this one is about half health, a little bit more than half health there. And he's bleeding. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sprint. We haven't seen this command yet, but I'm going to run, so it gives me a bit of an advantage, and I'm going to kind of try and come back over here and hop the fence again before this one reaches me. I prefer not to take it on straight up. Why do that when we have this fence here? So holding Shift and the quotation marks button will now give us this movement mode, and we're going to run. Now, running is going to deplete your stamina bar much quicker, so use it sparingly. Again, stamina is so important for you to manage. If this bar drops off, it's almost a death sentence. If you lose all your stamina, it's going to affect your combat and everything. So I'm going to move at a diagonal, avoiding the bushes and any terrain impairments, staying on flat ground, giving me the advantage. I was able to hop the fence. We will walk again. Make sure to walk. Just the same, you have to remember to turn your flashlight off. Remember to stop sprinting. And we'll just wait for this guy to come at us. Good. Okay, so we were able to take him down. I'm going to quickly hop the fence. And because this guy's over here, he's attacking the fence. You can kind of hear it. He's rattling that fence. I want him to stop. So let's kill him. Good. Because he would attract more with that noise. All right, so I smashed him. B3 player. I'm getting so many lighters. Now the shovel's interesting. Definitely want those antibiotics. That's going to be crucial down the road. We'll talk about those. But any medicines you come across, pretty much, you always want to pick them up. There's almost no exceptions to that. Every medicine pick up. All right, so he's safe and sound. Doesn't really have anything else I want. It's actually a woman wearing a bra. Let's move to this other one. We need to squish that one. It's asking me, because there's still a zombie in here clanging around, each time I go to do an action which passes time, it's warning me, saying, you can hear something. Are you sure you want to do this? And I'm saying, yeah, just ignore it, because I know it's trapped in this room, essentially. So again, don't ignore these these warnings that are popping up. You'll see me sometimes close them out quickly, but read through them. If you're not sure what the noise it's talking about is, then don't do it. Go and explore and figure out what the noise is, but we know. So, all right. I also know that there's probably more zombies here. This, although it appears to be a wall, is not a wall. As I walk in front, we're going to see the interior. This is just like a little garage almost. And the zombie in here will see me too. So my tactic is going to be to run, not to run, but to walk and probably hop this fence here. So also, yep, there he is. Now let's take a look at the zombie itself. As I've kind of briefly mentioned, it's so important to look at this, especially as you're new and you're getting used to the different types of enemies. I know zombies pretty well, but it is slower than me. This is such a critical piece of information, one you want to be aware of for every enemy you come up. Is it faster than you? Is it slower than you? If it is faster than you, can you run? if you turn on your run button and then examine the creature, does it still say that it's faster than you? Because it will change depending on your speed. So this is relative to your speed currently. See, now it says it's much slower than me. If you can't outrun something and it's even mildly dangerous, you're in for a fight, essentially. And if it's more than mildly dangerous, or maybe it has some sort of like stinging venom, you're going to be in real trouble. So just always be aware of the speed of your enemies. And never let yourself get caught unless you're prepared for the fight. All right, so the fencing looks a little funky here. What we're seeing is these are gates. They're locked currently, so I would have to try and pick that lock or cut the fence, but that's why it looks weird like that. All right, so we're going to climb and smash and grab. He's got a phone with a case, 2 glow sticks. I really, really like glow sticks. I always pick them up. To a degree, I don't carry like hundreds of them, but I like to have about a half dozen or so. Also, and I think we just found our first multi-tool, which is huge. We'll grab that and favorite it. And you see I've taken the drugs and the medicine, well, the vitamins. Everything else stays. Let's take a quick peek at that multi-tool. It's not the be-all, end-all of tools, but it does fill a lot of tool properties. Unfortunately, it doesn't have bolt turning 2. We're going to need like a nice wrench for that. But the good news is we're in a place that has a lot of tools. So let's keep clearing. I want to see if... Okay, yeah. So this I mentioned, the mines, the surface will have fuel, and here they are. So this is a gas pump, and it has, essentially you can think of this as charges, 14,600 charges. Sounds like a lot, but I mean, it's the equivalent of, I don't know, maybe a few dozen gallons or so. It's not going to fill up your car, probably. It's hard to say, but this one's got 46,000 charges of diesel, so pretty decent, pretty decent. Now, there's a truck next to us. Let's look at this. It's a heavy-duty cargo truck, which is actually quite an amazing vehicle. It could function. In fact, it's loaded up with diesel. Not totally full, but it's got a lot. It's got a charge on it. But the problem with this is its engine is really, really bad. It's not technically a faulty engine because it would say faulty, and then we would have to further examine it and see if it had like a bad spark plug or something like that, or maybe it just needs a new air filter. Sometimes faulty engines are very simple fixes. But this just means it's like physically damaged. It's like banged up and dented, and it could get shattered and completely destroyed with just a few hits of the wrong, enemies. So, I mean, that's the worst case scenario, that your engine breaks on you. But I do know from experience that these cargo trucks can often have armor plating or great storage opportunities, so we'll remember it and come back to it. All right, so I'm hopping the fence, and where'd he go? He was just over here. I was going to try and get a big brain move, and okay, he followed me. All right, yeah, we're not done yet. There's definitely more zombies here in the surface, so we're going to go through the rest of the clearing fairly quickly because I think you have like the basic understanding. I'm going to utilize the fence as much as I can. Also utilizing the low IQ of the zombies. Just how stupid they are. Over here, little guy. Let's hop this fence. Yeah, there we go. Now they can break down the fence too. If I allow them to attack the same fence piece over and over, eventually they'll tear through it, and then they've got an open runway to me. So it's not a bad strategy to kind of kite them along the fence too, especially if you got a big group of them. If it's just one or two, you're probably going to kill it before it gets through the fence, but it's no guarantee. All right, come up here. This one's like stuck behind the tree. It's annoying. You can see I'm taking a moment to try and kill these before I smash. All right, it is very important that we smash these, but you do have like a pretty good window. It's maybe a day or so before. I can't tell you exactly how long. Okay, yeah, we need to climb that fence. Oh boy, I just barely made it before he got to me. And we're cutting it close on some of these fence climbs. Think about it, because climbing a fence is going to take more movement than just walking would. So as I'm climbing it, it allowed the zombie to cover like 3 or 4 tiles in that same time frame. But he didn't quite get to me. But I just got lucky, essentially. So I'm smashing. And what we're going to do, since we're on a mission to clear, we'll do the looting later once we've cleared everything. All right, so I hear something in there. Breaking the windows out. These are barred windows, so the zombies aren't going to get through here. It's essentially like a fence, but I can smash the glass and the plating to see what's on the inside. This is a feral. This is not a zombie. I've mentioned ferals before. Ferals are very dangerous. I would almost consider them more dangerous than zombies in a lot of ways, but they also have some weaknesses that zombies don't, such as they're susceptible to tear gas. So that's a great little tip. We don't have any now, but we're also not in a threat because there's a window between us. But keep in mind, ferals are just living beings who have gone insane and will kill you on sight, but they can mix with zombies. They're not going to get bitten by zombies. So what I'm going to do is attack this guy through the window. They also have the ability to throw rocks, too. So ferals have range, whereas zombies don't. Obviously, a zombie's not going to throw anything at you. I should qualify that remark by saying as long as it's not a special kind of mutated zombie, because they do exist. All right, so I can't get in this building because the door is locked. What we're going to do is deal with the door in a moment or two. Let's fully sweep the perimeter of this place. Checking any visual windows. Let's look at that. Could be zombies in any of these rooms. Down this corridor, maybe. Yeah, there's a zombie miner somewhere. I can't see in there. Let me pop my flashlight. There he is. What are you doing? Okay, good. We got him. I'm going to turn off that flashlight again. And around that corner, now there's probably something in this building. Maybe not. Let's climb this fence. Back inside the compound. Okay, there's a little kitchenette there. We've almost searched everything. Not quite. All right, that's a room. There's a bunch of like just various minerals and resources here. The mine shafts are a surprisingly good source of loot, though. Definitely worthwhile. I mean, if for no other reason than just the fuel that they often have, gas and diesel, but a lot of times you'll find tools here. Sometimes there's vehicles parked, you know, so I like mine shafts. It's one of my most common stopping places. If I see them, I almost always stop and clear it. But all right, we do want to deal with the door. We could whip together some lock picks and craft those up and then spend the whole day sitting here failing at picking the lock. Lock picking is a proficiency. It's not a skill, but you'll see it pop up as you practice it, and it takes many days to get really, really good at it. It's a good skill to have in this game, for sure. You're going to come into a lot of situations with locked doors or safes, but we're not going to work on it right now. I'd rather just smash this. So what I think I'm going to do is play it safe. I'm going to jump the fence. I'm going to drop my fire-hardened spear. As a side note, too, the spear is getting damaged after clearing those zombies. It is a little bit dinged up, but we will deal with that after we've cleared. So what I want to do now is find some wood. Well, here's a tree. So I'm going to smash this tree. Okay, good. We got the tree. And I'm just going to pick up a long stick. I'm not going to craft it in anything, but it will help us to bash down these doors. So let me get this knocked down. There we go. All right. And we need a rest now. Okay, so we've got a couple more closed doors. This is like a bathroom, little locker. And behind this door is an office. It is locked. Is there any zombies? I think it's empty, but let's smash it with caution. Now, what I would do if there was like a surprise zombie in here, I would run out, hop the fence, drop the stick, pick up my spear, and then stab it through the fence. That's why I dropped the spear over here. That was my intention ahead of time. So with that being the case, let's jump the fence again. With the stick in hand, we've got a couple more doors to bash still. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to think ahead. We know that this area is completely empty with zombies. Quite a few locked doors in the mines. Resting again. Doors open. So we've got a little kitchenette here. Sometimes there's a bit of food. I wouldn't count on too much food in the mine. Maybe you get lucky and find some chips or something, but there is water here. So if we come over to the little the front office, there's always, this appears on this tile set to be a sink right here. This is actually a water. It's not a water fountain, but it's like one of those water dispensers you see in an office. So if I stand next to it and hit E, yeah, we've got 75 charges of clean water. These always occur at mine shafts, so we can take a little drink there. All right, nice. So let's see, I believe there is just one last building to check for zombies. And like I said, once we've cleared it, then we'll start to look at the loot here. Okay, so this door is locked. This is like the little bunkhouse for the miners where they would sleep. So we're going to take this door out. All right, now we need to rest. All right, first of all, let's come down to the end and smash that guy. Now, there can be zombies in these rooms. It's good to open them with the light. That way there's no like shadows or anything in the back of them. Okay, those are all clear. All right, we can tell that these to the south are clear because we broke the windows and looked in them earlier. So turn the flashlight off and we have done it. We have cleared the mines, the surface of the mines. There is, again, it always occurs here. It's a little hard to see because there's blood everywhere, but there's a manhole cover right there under that zombie corpse. And if I come up to it with the right tool, we can pry it open and then go below. It's much more dangerous down there and there's less loot, but we might peek our heads down and check it out just so you guys can see it and kind of get familiar with it. But like I said, the majority of the hard part is done. We have effectively cleared this mine shaft of zombies. It belongs to us. We could set it up as a base or just organize the loot and leave it for later, which is what we'll do. We'll probably grab what the most valuable stuff is, some tools, and we'll set back out really trying to put together a vehicle. Once we do get a vehicle, we'll return and fill her up here and pick up the rest of the loot that we couldn't carry, but it's all going to have to wait for the next episode, guys. That does it for this one. I hope you've learned something today. Please let me know down in the comments section, and of course, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you'll know the next time I upload a video, and I will see you guys on the next one.